Hello there, people of the internet. I got the camera pushed kind of far back away from me, and that's because I have this right here. I normally am not excited to the point where I'm like really excited to unbox something. This is something that I've been looking forward to getting for a considerable amount of time. Let me tell you guys what this actually is. This is an 1816 musket, and it was made in 1838, or at least that's what this should be. Whenever we actually get around to opening it up, then that will confirm what it should be. Although, looking at the hammer contour of what we have right here, I'd say that's probably what we have. I got this off of Gunbroker, and I normally don't really go browsing Gunbroker all that much. So, yeah, whenever I do go browse Gunbroker, I gotta find like a good deal for it to actually be something that I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get this. Then I came across this right here, and I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And you can't, like, they're not going to sell these wholesale. They're not still made nowadays. It's getting something like this is something that you have to get on the private market. And they normally sell for stupid amounts of money, but this one is in exceptionally rough shape, which is fine by me because I like doing firearms refurbishments. I don't think I'm going to refurbish this. It's definitely not in shooting condition as is, but it would be nice to get it back up to shooting condition. I don't know if that's going to happen, but just having something like this in the collection would be phenomenal. As of time, this right here is definitely a wall hanger. You guys will see some damage done to it, but I got it at an exceptionally good price. I ended up paying like $360 for this thing. So I am not complaining about that. Normally at auctions, I see these muskets go for considerable amounts more, but they're oftentimes in better shape. So I'm willing to say that this right here is probably a fair price, but I wanted specifically one of these. And the reason why I wanted one of these is because this particular one is a percussion cap conversion. Originally, these were made as flintlocks, you know, being designed in 1816. And they were actually converted to percussion cap conversions for the United States Civil War. I've been looking for an actual Civil War musket for the longest time, but I wanted to get an older flintlock that was converted to percussion cap for use in the Civil War. Now, the 1816, there was obviously, well, for people who don't really know, there was the obvious choice of what to go for, because I'm pretty sure that after this model, they started going towards percussion caps. There's a couple of other variations of this rifle out there that people have designated like the 1822 and the 1835, I think, but they're essentially this rifle right here with like very small changes. Like one of them is, I think, a sling swivel contour has changed, and another one was a slight change in the finish, but they're essentially the same rifle. Whenever this rifle was a flintlock, it was a simplified, easier to produce version of essentially the Charleville. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. This is the first time that I've seen it. All I've done is take this out of the box so you guys didn't have to sit there and watch me pull this out of the box. It had a bunch of paper and stuff attached to it. Excellent pack job by the Gunbroker seller. I'll go ahead, figure out his name, and I'll throw it somewhere here. It's either going to be in the video here or in the description. If I forget about that, do me a favor and remind me about it, because sometimes things like that slip through the cracks, especially with how many videos that I have to film, edit, and process. Oh boy, would you look at that right there? That is exactly what we're looking at. This is a converted 1816 musket, and it's exactly what I wanted in my collection. I'm glad that he packaged this as well as he did, because it is very clear that the delivery service was not very kind to this. The box was beat to absolute hell. So, he does know that I do this YouTube channel. If you're watching this, I appreciate the pack job. Like, you did extremely well here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is why I got this for as cheap as I did. You'll see the barrel is bent. I should be able to fix that. And whenever I do fix it, I won't be pushing these rifles to their extremes. If I even do take this out to shoot it, I still got to take it apart, look at the bedding, look at the barrel itself, look at the breech face. I got a bore scope I'll be using, etc., etc. I'm going to give this a full-on inspection before I take it out. But I will only fire a round ball through this, probably some pretty gosh darn lightweight round ball at that. I know that these had a problem in the Civil War firing minié balls, or mini balls, however that's pronounced, just because those were heavier than the round balls that these rifles were originally intended for, and they had issues with blowing up, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So our barrel is bent. I'm not sure how well it's going to pop up on camera here. We got ourselves probably, I don't know, rough estimations, 20-degree upward angle. Does not look like the wood's been cracked from that, which is good. I should be able to fix this. The fact that we still have a ramrod on this thing is incredible. The ramrod alone makes me be like, okay, yeah, this is something worth having. So there were a couple of different types of conversions with these rifles. There was a Belgian conversion where the percussion cap nipple was on the barrel itself. Those had issues. This right here is a much stronger version of the conversion. I can't remember what it's called. I'll try and figure that out, and maybe I'll include that in the video if I remember to do that. Or you could just go look in the comments, because I'm sure somebody's going to tell us. Wow, the nipple on this is pretty bad. I'm going to see if I can find a nipple for this. It should be... I can't remember the nipple size for these, but I'm sure a quick Google search will probably tell me that. Hammer looks like it's in fairly good shape. It seems like it functions. Pull the trigger, bang. So yeah, this should be okay. I'm definitely going to have to check it on the inside, make sure we don't have a round ball or anything still inside this. Maybe it was loaded, maybe it saw combat, maybe that's why it is bent upward like this. I'm going to have to play around with this right here. I'm probably going to take a piece of metal bar stock and stick it in there right to the bend and just gently tap that down. This right here, although it is relatively hard steel, it's still pretty gosh darn soft steel considering the time period where this had come out. I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to get that. It's going to take a lot of really tender love and care because I don't want to scratch anything up, I don't want to chip any wood, etc., etc. But that bend I should be able to figure out. This is what has me paused a little bit, because that is very much rusted, and I don't know if I'll be able to get that percussion cap nipple off of there. I got no idea on that one. I'll clean it up with a wire wheel. I'll see what I can do with that. I'm probably just going to let it absolutely soak. I'm going to drench it in like WD-40 and a PB Blaster, which is something that like eats its way into rust and helps get things off, like if things are rusted shut and whatnot. It's just a really good lubricant. If that doesn't work, I'm going to try heat. I'm going to want to pull the barrel out of the stock before I do that, because I definitely don't want to risk burning or damaging the stock. The stock is in exceptionally good shape. I don't see any real issues with the stock other than that 20-degree bend up there. Oh, well, would you look at that? I am betting that this bend happened from some kind of explosion, because we have little chunks taken out of this stock up here. Like, I've seen rifles that have been hit by, like, artillery and whatnot. That's exactly what this looks like. So, yeah, I got no idea what the story behind that is, but whoever had this must have not had a very good day, since this is just a smooth bore musket. We got a front sight, we got no rear sight. These aren't known to be all that accurate. I don't even see any cracks or anything. I am blown away with how good of condition this stock is in. I'm going to have to get into the internals and see how good of condition those are in, but that's alright. That won't be hard to take the lock plate off of this, assuming that nothing is significantly damaged on the inside. My one worry is this percussion cap nipple that we've got right there. That does not look like it's going to be easy to get off. That looks very much rusted in place to the point where it almost looks like it's one piece with this metal here. But I'll do some gentle negotiating to see what I can figure out. I probably also have to smooth out the inside of this hammer a little bit because that is quite rippled with rust as well. We have a 25 right here on the stock, and we have the production date of the musket, 1838. Springfield, I think that's what it says. Yeah, Springfield, that's exactly what that says. It says Springfield, but spring and field are different words. We got spring on top and field on the bottom. I've never seen that before with Springfield. And over here somewhere under the rust we should have, yep, right there, although I'm sure it's not going to come up on camera, a little US mark, and there's very faintly a little eagle, or at least there should be, yeah. There, I can see at least a little piece of it. So there's very faintly a little eagle right there. So this is a great piece of the collection, something I've been wanting for quite some time, and I will definitely keep you guys updated on it. This is exactly what I've been wanting for the longest time, and I tell you what, I'm very happy to have gotten my hands on it. I wish that I knew the story behind it, but I just don't, and no one would know the story behind a gun this old. This being 1838, that's gonna put it at like 190 years old at date of production, and then conversion was done for the Civil War, actually for the earlier parts of the Civil War, probably 1860 to 1862. And there we go. That is my Civil War musket right there. Definitely needs a little bit of love, and I'm sure that I can manage to pull that off. I'll just have to be nice and ginger with it. I'm probably going to pull it out of the stock, give it a good check out, etc., etc. It looks like our sling swivel is in the spot that's not going to be the first pattern, so this is either a second or third pattern. My bet, judging by production date, probably a third pattern, so that would be the 1835 pattern, and that's basically the previous two patterns with a different finish. This right here, that little sling spot, that is what changed with the rifles. Whenever people call an 1816, they'll call it an 1825 or an 1835. Might be an 1822. Whatever. They call it different things, and it's just because of these different sling spots. Like, that's literally the only change with these rifles. And then there's a slightly different finish to make manufacturing a little bit easier. And people will yell at you because they're like, that's a completely different rifle because of that different sling spot. Like, it's a different model of the same rifle. So that is kind of a controversy that I'm expecting to find in the comments below. And if you'd like to yell at me for whatever reason, then that's the place to do it. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. I'm going to see if I can't very gingerly tap this forward. First things first, I'm going to have to get this ramrod out. Hopefully do that without bending it. The ramrod itself looks pretty straight, and this right here looks pretty straight too. I'm going to be nice and gentle with this, and I'm going to see if I can get these off so I can get this barreled action out of this stock. And I think that would be the best bet, and then I'll very gingerly try and bend this down. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you all in the next episode. Alright, so I successfully got the ramrod out, nice and gently. I'm going to go ahead and just put this down the barrel to see if we potentially might have this rifle loaded still from the Civil War. So it should come down to right about here or so if it's not loaded. Let's find out. Da-da-da-da. I'm sure that we're going to be scraping along the side of the barrel because it is bent. That's fine. Uh-oh. That stops. That doesn't bode well. Okay. Well, this right there, where does that stop on? Oh, boy. So this stops about right here in the barrel. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have ourselves a loaded rifle. Let me go grab my my bore scope, and I'll shove the bore scope down this thing, and we'll see if we can see an original Civil War charge. If this rifle is loaded, it's obviously not going to be good anymore. That gunpowder is ancient, and it's been exposed to the elements with that percussion cap off of there. But if this is loaded, getting a 200-year-old, I don't know, mini ball, round ball, whatever it is, out of this rifle might be a little difficult. I might just leave that in there and be like, yeah, that's still loaded from the Civil War, because that is pretty incredible. Okay, the checking procedure is probably going to be a little off screen because I got this leaned up on my wall right here. Just bear with me, and I'll let y'all know what I find. I do not know if my thing here is long enough to be able to make it all the way down there. Guess we're going to find out. Huh. Okay. Alright. It almost looks like... okay, let me see if I can manage to get this over here so I can show the camera what I'm looking at here. Right, here's what we're looking at. And it's hard to tell if this is a musket ball or the breech face. Because, I don't know, maybe there's just something in there. I'm going to have to see if I can clean that out. Maybe it's been plugged or something. Maybe that's like a wood plug or something like that. It's really hard to tell with what that is, and I guess that makes sense considering how old this thing is. I'm not surprised to see that it doesn't just look like a round ball. So I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit. By the looks of it, me sticking that ramrod down there did compact it a little bit. So I do think that this is some kind of charge. Judging by what I'm looking at here and the way the ramrod has affected it, I think that we're looking at the top of the paper for a charge, because that would make a lot more sense than somebody sticking a piece of wood or something down here. So, very interesting. I guess I will see if I can get that out, but I also don't know if I want to get that out, because this thing still being loaded from the Civil War is pretty gosh darn awesome. Okay, I will see what I can do here. Not unless that right there. Yeah, okay. Now that I'm getting closer and I'm able to kind of see it a little bit, we can actually see the center. I'm not sure how well this is going to pop up on camera, but we can see the center right there where the bullet itself is pushing out of the paper surrounding it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is still loaded. And it's loaded with a paper patched either round ball or some sort of conical, maybe a mini ball or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now we're done, I promise. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.